Teman-teman, jangan lupa sebelum nonton tayangan ini, klik like dulu, lalu subscribe, lalu share.
Anyone?
Ya kamu lahir tahun berapa?
Iya.
Hah?
Lahir tahun berapa?
Lahir 81.
81, oke.
Ya, saya 82, maaf.
82.
Ganti jadi kan dari kecil namanya David. Pas masuk Islam, orang tuanya minta, dia kan sangat sayang sama Nabi Daud. Jadi Nabi David, dia kan Muslim. Jadi dia bilang jangan ganti Davidnya.
Maknanya jangan berubah.
Ya, jadi dia ganti ke Daud aja.
Backchat, you burn all my energy. Backchat, criticizing all you see. Backchat, analyzing what I say. Backchat, and you always get your way. Oh yeah, see what you've done to me. Backchat, it's driving me insane. It's battle to the end, not your time to come again. Talk back, you've got me on the rack. Twisting every word I say, when me up and get you away. That change I have of making no romance. If I'm ever going to win, have to get the last word in. Oh yeah, see what you've done to me.
So, jadi suami dulu Islam atau sama-sama Islam?
Suami dulu.
Suami dulu ya.
Ya.
Namanya siapa suaminya? Suaminya
Oh, Sheikh Fatah.
Chef Fatah.
Ya.
American juga?
Ya.
Ya.
American juga? Keren ya, orang Amerika namanya Chef Fatah.
Ya, namanya dulu David,
David.
tapi jadi Daud dan setelah itu jadi Sheikh Fatah. Ya.
Tahun berapa itu?
Tahun di let's see,
81.
Ya kamu lahir tahun berapa?
Iya.
Hah?
Lahir tahun berapa?
Lahir 81.
81, oke.
Ya, saya 82, maaf.
82.
Ganti jadi kan dari kecil namanya David. Pas masuk Islam, orang tuanya minta, dia kan sangat sayang sama Nabi Daud. Jadi Nabi David, dia kan Muslim. Jadi dia bilang jangan ganti Davidnya.
Maknanya jangan berubah.
Ya, jadi dia ganti ke Daud aja. Nah, setelah diijazahkan tarekatnya tahun 82, itu baru diganti nama Syekh Fatah. Ditambahin namanya sebenarnya.
Dari Sheikh.
Sekarang masih ada?
3 tahun lalu, makamnya di Luliang.
Oh, jadi sekeluarga pindah ke sini semua, Indonesia semua?
Ya, itu tahun 99.
Kenapa itu? Kenapa pindah Indonesia semua?
Ilham. Syekh malam-malam lagi tidur, bangun dari tidur, Indonesia udah. Kita nggak kenal siapa-siapa di sini, apa gitu. Tapi itu salah satu, kalau orang Jawa
Masih
nggak
SD
mau-
berarti ya? SD?
Saya kan nggak pernah sekolah, Pak.
Oh, siap.
Sekolahnya di rumah aja gitu. Di rumah kita belajar.
Ya.
Dari dulu.
Ini dia. Syekh Razi.
Duduk dulu.
Oh iya.
Makanya pendidikannya agak berbeda sih. Agak ini. Kita belajar dari hidup aja.
Waduh, tuh kalau anak-anakku dengar nggak mau sekolah semua itu.
Kalau anak-anak saya juga harapannya juga enggak. Sebenarnya ada satu hal yang akan didapatkan. Kalau silaturahmi tetap harus jalan. Tetapi satu hal yang didapatkan adalah harus sedikit tahu sejarah sekolah yang zaman sekarang itu kenapa dibikin. Dulu buat cetak orang-orang yang bekerja PNS.
Iya, iya.
Kalau orang niat itu cocok, tapi kalau
Iya.
enggak ya jangan gitu.
Iya.
Kita kan seniman, jadi
Saya selalu bilang-
pegang gambus. Gitu.
Saya juga bilang sama anakku yang kuliah kan. Dia kan mau kuliah di London. Aku bilang, ini ayah kasih tahu ilmunya. Kalau kamu kuliah, kamu pulang jadi direktur aja.
Ya.
Tapi kalau kamu nggak kuliah, kamu jadi owner.
Ya.
Tapi ya dia pengen pengalamannya
Pengen
kuliah.
pengalaman.
Ya udah nggak apa-apa lah gitu kan. Mudah-mudahan aja ayahnya salah.
Networking penting.
Iya,
Apalagi
iya.
dari luar.
Semoga jadi owner kan, tidak hanya jadi PNS tadi tuh.
Jadi kalau sebenarnya nggak salah, tetapi tergantung niat,
Niat,
mau
iya.
jadi PNS atau mau enggak seperti itu.
Pegawai bukan? Ya pegawai. Kalau PNS kan kesannya kan public government.
Ya, tapi sistem pendidikan yang ada
Iya.
itu memang karena mau dicetak orang-orang yang bekerja government. Aslinya
Oh.
pendidikannya 150 tahun yang lalu itu mulainya dengan itu. Gitu.
Iya. Makanya saya selalu bilang kayak orang selalu ngeremehin orang yang nggak kuliah gitu. Sekarang mau tanya Nabi Muhammad kuliahnya di mana?
Ya benar. Sebenarnya kalau antum tanya ijazah satu-satunya yang kita punya ya cuma dari Nabi Muhammad, dan buat saya, maaf, yang mana lebih keren dari itu? Tunjukin dong. Bener nggak? Ya, begitu.
Jadi waktu ketemu sama Mr. David ini, itu berarti mama belum muslim ya?
Ya, saya
When you
When you
met
first
Baba.
met Bapak.
no,
You weren't Muslim yet.
belum.
Belum ya?
Saya juga belum waktu.
Ya.
She was
Lama.
17, ibu 17 dan bapak 27.
Oke.
Jatuh hati sekali lihat.
Dan setelah
Di mana tuh Dallas?
No,
Now, where was that?
Washington.
Washington.
when we met,
Yeah.
no, in
Portland,
Portland.
Oregon.
Yeah.
And pertama ketemu, memang Allah punya aturan ya.
Iya.
Jadi pertama ketemu langsung dua minggu saling nggak bisa tidur gitu, nungguin gitu. Giliran aku ingat cerita bapak dulu, saya dulu, bahwa lagi duduk lihat ibu lagi jalan, dia masih muda. Wah, ini udah layang-layang. Kayak film-film Bollywood gitu.
Sukses terus, Caller 80.
But actually you were born Sufism ya, bukan Islam sebenarnya.
Well, yeah, because after to become a Sufi, that came later. First he became Muslim, then he went to study. I don't know if you're familiar, kalau tahu dengan Syekh Yusuf Qaradawi
Iya.
di Qatar. Nah, waktu itu Syekh pernah dikasih beasiswa ke
Your father?
Qatar, ya.
Oke.
Dan bersama-sama tinggal di sana dan belajar di kuliah syariah di sana. Setahun itu pernah Syekh nanya ke Syekh Yusuf Qaradawi, apa itu Sufi? Karena Syekh masih pemahamannya apa yang dipahami, sederhana, jadi jawabannya orang baik aja gitu. Muslim yang sangat bagus, itu aja. Jadi itu kan kayak tanaman gitu. Setelahnya balik ke Amerika di Oregon, baru ini menyingkatkan satu cerita yang sangat luar biasa gitu. Dan saya ceritakan, I'm just telling it because
Yeah.
biar bahasa Indonesianya biar.
Yeah.
Jadi setelah balik.
No, in English juga nggak apa-apa.
Oh ya, oke.
Audiens kita lumayan kok.
Oh ya.
Audiens kita.
So you want to tell any of it?
Yeah.
You can tell
The
it.
story.
in
You can
English.
tell in
She's
English.
a good story.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to tell a story.
How did you guys become Sufis?
Well, I think it started with, what happened was when he became Muslim,
David,
well,
ya?
no, before.
David.
It was before, because we visited Afghanistan.
Yeah.
We were going to India to visit my guru, our guru, and we stopped on the way at Khaji Abdullah Ansari's tomb
Yeah.
In Afghanistan.
in Afghanistan, and
This is before they were Muslim.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
and
She was Hindu.
Yeah. they were-
no Sikh.
studied.
Some
It
kind.
wasn't.
Sikh.
It was a Sikh guru, but we
Like
weren't-
a guru in Beatles, Maharishi ya.
Yeah. And we visited his tomb, and there were children outside, and I had chocolate, so I gave my chocolate. I found out later that you're supposed to give sadaqah at a tomb,
Yeah.
and years later, when after he was born, well, before that, it's so kind of roomy. But it's he became Muslim while I was gone.
David.
Yeah,
Ja.
before he was born. And for 2 years, I fought it. I didn't want to because
Okay.
we lived in the Middle East. There was nothing. Oh no, I don't want to be a Muslim. No.
Yeah, I know. Because
Yeah.
you're a woman, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. You got it.
That my kind of type of religion.
Yeah. And so it took me like 2 years. I had this battle in my heart, so it kind of like made a crust on my heart. I
Okay.
felt like I didn't have any feeling until about 2 months before he was born. I started crying all the time.
When you were pregnant, yeah?
Yeah. I started just crying, weeping. I couldn't stop. And I kept thinking, okay, I finally decided, okay, I'm not going to try and be Muslim. I'm just going to be true.
Surrender.
And be in myself and follow my guru and let him be Muslim. And then, and the crying came from this crack that happened in that crust on my heart.
Yeah.
And so, like 2 weeks before he was born, I had been living up in an island about 500 miles away from my husband, and with my family, and he came to get me so we could move to the house so I could have the baby, him, and we're riding in the car, and there's a song that we had on a cassette tape from our travels that was the 99 names of Allah, and
Okay.
it said Allah, Allah Ar-Rahman, Allah, Allah Ar-Rahman, and it would go on and
On and on and on.
yeah, for the 99 names of Allah, but the refrain was Allah, Allah Ar-Rahman, Allah, Allah Ar-Rahman, and it would go on. But when my baby, that was a year and a half older than him, when he heard that, he started saying, Allah, Allah, and at that moment, the crust fell off my heart, and I went, oh, I'm a Muslim. And that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Jangan pernah merasa paling benar sendiri, karena kebenaran itu adalah milik penguasa. Jangan pernah merasa paling agamis sendiri. Karena apa? Karena mereka yang tidak punya agama akan marah. Jangan pernah merasa paling Pancasilais. Karena apa? Karena hanya mereka yang mengucapkan saya Indonesia, saya Pancasila. Itulah mereka yang paling Pancasilais.
And then after we're living in Portland, after he was born, which was in Ramadan, he was born, and we had my husband was working with refugees, Afghani refugees, and
Where is that?
in Portland.
Portland.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Portland, yeah.
Portland,
Yeah.
there was Afghani.
Yeah, because of the war,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And he met these two brothers that were descendants of Khaja Abdullah Ansari.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I had a friend that called me from Texas, from this sheikh that we ended up following, that wanted a teacher for Arabic for the women. And I knew a little, but so I said, okay, yeah, I'd like that, because it was a sheikh.
Yeah.
And I had made a dua that, okay, Allah, if you want me to become Muslim, then send me a teacher, send me a sheikh. But then that crust happened, and I became Muslim anyway. But that was when Allah sent the teacher. And we went to Texas with those Khaja Abdullah Ansari descendants.
From
They
the-
took us.
Yeah.
And we landed there at the conference. And
There was a Sufi
a
conference, like
Sufi worldwide.
yeah, like Habib Lutfi does in Pekalongan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to do it in the United States.
Yeah.
Sheikh Fadlullah Ha'iri.
Yeah, and so we landed there, and they were Qawwali musicians, so
Yeah.
they had the harmonium and the tablas, and so we were just singing, and yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, so that was how.
So you were born Christian.
Yeah,
Okay.
Christian Science.
Christian Science. Yeah, it's a little Christian Science, a little different, right?
It's a little different in that they don't believe in doctors. They just believe that Allah is the healer.
Yeah.
And on the church wall, it said, God is love, So, yeah, that was my
And
background.
he's Republic Tidak.
Oh, yeah, I know. I love that name. Ooh.
Is there any celebrities with the Christian Science?
You know any-
Celebrities?
Yeah.
Isn't what's his name? Yeah.
Who?
Scientology, a lot of celebrities.
Yeah,
yeah?
No, not
Scientology. Oh,
Scientology. It's
Different, different.
I don't
No,
know.
no, no,
Completely
no, no.
different.
I
Completely
don't-
different.
yeah.
That's kind of a cult. But, yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, people thought of Christian Science as a cult
Yeah,
too.
everybody always thinks
Yeah.
whatever's different than what you're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a cult. Yeah.
So Sheikh Fadlullah Ha'iri, the one that they went down to Texas, he was the family, Ha'iri family is a Sayyid also family, who are the ones who are in charge of the maqam of Sayyidina Hussein in Karbala. From the time of Sayyidina Hussein, it's Al-Ha'iri, the family of Al-Ha'iri. So his name was Sheikh Fadlullah Al-Ha'iri, and he had just built, when he'd build places, very generous person. Kareem, he would just build villages in India, and so he built this place in the middle of Texas.
In the hill.
Nobody there. I mean, people, you don't talk about it. I mean, at that time, now a lot more people are open. It's a little different now, but at that time it was like big, huge masjid in Texas, and that's when they first went down there.
Yeah.
Sheikh Fadlullah. He was it was Sheikh Fatah's first ijazah.
He's
for
American
tariqah.
also.
Huh?
He's
No, he's
no.
from Iraq, from
Iraq.
Karbala.
Okay.
He's a Sayyid he's a, to Rasulullah.
Yeah, yeah. No.
From Karbala, and then he was teaching. He was a businessman, oil businessman.
But he is not a Shia. No.
He was
Maybe
Shia.
yeah,
He was Shia.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
And we
Is
were
it-
Shias for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were Shias for a long time.
Because
Because logically it
I
makes a lot more
lived in
sense.
Iran, and I don't know, people would get on the bus and they'd say, "Yo, Imam Zaman, yo, Ali," and it was like, I wasn't Muslim, but I loved Ali. I don't know why.
And
Yeah, so I had a place in my heart that.
when Sheikh Fadlullah was a Shia, but in the end, it's about mazhab cinta,
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Republic cinta. And so when you first started, then afterwards it was like, it's none of it's important. That's why
Yeah.
for me it's like, what you want your hands here, whatever, I'll go for it. Not my, And so that's it.
Yeah.
For a long time, when we first came to Indonesia, we were Shias.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, we came to Indonesia. We were under the madhab of the Ja'fari madhab.
So your father also.
Yeah, but then also when you come here, it's why fight with people about where you're gonna put your hands?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not important, And so when for example, when we went to Iran to play, they're all Shias.
Yeah.
So they pray with their hands now. Pray with your hands now. You go to Algeria to go and perform, and they pray with their hands also down. Then you go to the Shafi'is in Turkey or here, whatever they're doing, it's not a big deal,
I know.
It's all about.
You know.
Actually, I love the first time I love Khomeini.
Yeah,
Ayatollah Khomeini. Just from the photo.
yeah.
The first time I saw his photo.
Yeah, I was the same
Have
way.
you seen my father's picture?
No.
I'll send it. to you.
Oh,
Okay.
It looks just like him.
yeah, you did.
Sheikh Fadlullah went to Iran one time and he heard a lot of stories about Khomeini.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't know. And so he went to Iran, to Khomeini's place, and he wanted to know, is he real or what? And then he was sitting on his carpet, and it says, Irfan, Ma'rifa. And that was it. Years later, when we went to Iran, I wanted to find the stories. It was real, so we found the carpet. It says, Irfani. Yeah, very simple, you know.
Yeah.
The way we were accepted, the boo in Iran was wonderful. We went there with 20 people. They canceled our show because we're Americans at the time.
Okay.
Now I have become Indonesian citizens. I'm working on I want to get Pak Jokowi to give my mom just as a tabarrukan, you know. And so when we went to Iran, we still had American passports, and so they said you can't perform. Political reasons, you know about political things.
I know.
He went to jail for 2 years for political reasons.
Yeah.
You know?
The biggest enemy is
Yeah.
American. You know?
Yeah. And that's right. And so we went there, and they had sold 18,000 tickets, big events, and it was huge. And people before the event were already lined up at the gate, but then they canceled. We got a fax that said the show was canceled. So for 2 weeks we just on holiday, you know, going to see in the beautiful Iran, beautiful place. And the last day, everybody had to leave, and they asked, the president at the time was Ahmadinejad.
Yeah.
He asked that we stayed. My mother, myself, and my older sister Nassim, and asked to meet us. And then he apologized, and he said, "I'm sorry to you, and I'm sorry to Indonesia, because we came from Indonesia. We were here, you know. That's I mean, ini kalau bahasanya kita bilang bola Depok.
Yeah.
You know. So that's that. Now I've become Indonesian citizen. We're working on it, you know, and it's coming. It's beautiful. I have 11 kids, all born here, you know.
How many kids?
11.
11.
11. Unbelievable.
Most of my grandkids are here too, and I'm 25.
My
25?
25 grandkids.
grandchildren.
She has 6 kids.
And 2 great-grandchildren.
There you go.
All stay together in
That's right. I'm a grandpa.
Most of them.
Yeah, he's a
in
grandfather.
Indonesia.
Most
Yeah.
of them.
Okay.
All in Indonesia, and not all of them. We have one is in Turkey.
Okay.
My older sister, one's in the States. Ali, Levi, he's in the States. Who else is there?
His 2
Yeah.
children.
Mom's kids.
That's it.
That's it.
Not everybody
Yeah,
else is
everybody else is.
So from my mom, we have 6 kids, but from my father, it's 16. So, big families. She was very special, very special woman, because when my father wanted to get married again, she was the one who asked.
Yeah,
I think my wife should hear the story.
No, don't blame me.
Yeah, right. Well, the thing is the beauty of it is every man hears the story and is like, wow.
Backchat.